Hello and welcome to Surfer King. That's right, you are the Surfer King. Here you are, riding that wave. You gotta love that. Hey, I just want to let you know this is a work with me video, so we are going to solve this problem together. I'm going to do a little bit, then I'll ask you to pause the video, and you can copy down what I've done, and we'll work our way through the problem just like that. At any rate, you love to surf the big waves, and you love the challenge of it. Last year, you surfed a total of 17.1 miles. Let's just go ahead and write that down. 17.1 miles. You need to go from where the wave first starts to break all the way to the beach in order to count that ride as a surf run. Each surf run is 0.6 miles long, right? So 0.6 of a mile long. How many surf runs did you do last year? So the question is, or the hint is, how many 0.6s are in 17.1 miles, right? You could also write it like this. 17.1 divided by 0.6. And what I like to do is go back to the fraction, right? So let's look at fractions, and you can think of fractions in a number of ways. You can say 17.1 and then 1/6, or 10ths of a 6, which is hard to say here with this one. The other thing you can say is 17.1 divided by 0.16. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to change this so that we have a whole number for our divisor here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to multiply this by the giant 1. And the reason I use the giant 1 is because anytime you multiply any number times 1, you get that same number, right? So I'll get a number that looks different, but it's really the same number. So watch what happens here. If I take 17.1 and I multiply it by 10, that's going to change that number to 171. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the denominator. I'm going to multiply that by 10. And that's going to give me just 6. So now what's great about this is I got my denominator as a whole number. So let's go ahead, and first I'd like you to pause the video and copy this right here. Alrighty, so now our next step is to do two things here. First, I want to count by 6s, so I'm going to get my 6s written here. I'm going to actually bring that a little closer here. And then I also want to draw my area box. So I'm going to get my area box here. I always make it good and long here so I have room to move that decimal around. I'm going to put the 171 from right over here in the center, and I'm going to put the 6 over here. Now let me just back up for a second and show you what happened with that 0.6. So really this was a 0.6 and this was 17.1. And what I do is I do one loopy-doop, and I say loopy-doop because the word is just silly enough that kids remember it, to the divisor here, and whatever I do to the divisor, I've got to also do to my dividend. So I'm going to take this and go one loopy-doop here. So I'm going to grab this and go one loopy-doop here and put my decimal there. And as you see, by doing these loopy-doops, I'm really multiplying by the giant 1 of 10 over 10. I'm moving this one space, moving this one space. This is really being multiplied by 10 to change it from 0.6 to 6. And this is being multiplied by 10 to change it from 17.1 to 171. And that's shown right here. So now I am really ready to go. But before we do that, please, if you would, copy all this down. So now the next thing I need to do is figure out how many times this 6 is going to go in here. And I cannot fit the 6 into 1, but I can fit it into 17. So I'm going to put a 0 right above here to hold that place value. And I'll put a 0 right above the 1. And then anything times 0 will give me 0 right here. And there's not a lot of room. I should have made more room for myself, but I'll squeeze it in there. And then I'm going to start looking here and go, how many times can 6 go into 17? and I can come up here to my counting by the numbers, and here we go, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, and 60. I've got them all written here. And now if I look here, I'm looking for 17. So 6, 12, 18 is too much. So I'm going to come back here to 12. That means I'm going to multiply this by 2. So I'm going to plug a 2 right in here. And then 2 times 6, as I know, gives me 12. So I'm going to drop 12 right there. And I'll drop my 12 right there. And now I'm ready to subtract. Before I do, I'd like you to pause the video and copy all this. Super. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to check for any trouble coming. I got no trouble coming here. I got no trouble coming here, and obviously none there. So I'm going to make my next area box and plug that in right there. And now I'm going to subtract, and I've got 1 minus nothing is going to give me 1 right here. And then I've got 7 minus 2 is going to give me 5 right here. And now I know that 6 can't go into 5. So now I'm going to be looking for the 51. So I'm going to come back up here and start looking. And 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54. 54 is too much. So I'm going to come right back here to 48. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to put an 8 right there. And now I am multiplying my 8 by 6. So 6 times 8 is going to give me 48 right here. So I'm going to drop a 48 right here and get ready to subtract. Before I do, I would like you to copy all this, and then when you're done, hit play. All right. So now let's go ahead and look for trouble a-coming, and certainly this time I do because I cannot take 1 and subtract 8 from it. So I'm going to borrow from this 5, turn that 5 into a 4, and borrow a group of 10 to make that 11. Now I can subtract here, so I got no trouble here and none there. That means it's time to add another area box. So I'm going to just grab the blue, and here we go with another area box. Move that a little bit over. And now I need some room up here, so I'm going to move this stuff. And voila, it is moved. So now I'm ready to do my subtraction. So I'm going to come here and go 11 minus 8 is going to give me 3. And 4 minus 4 is nothing. So I'm ready to move on. So now 6 cannot go into 3. And normally you would add this up and 3 would be your remainder. But we're not doing that right now. So what I am going to do is add a decimal point and some zeros. So I'm going to add a decimal point here and put a 0 here and here. And then these are all going to be zeros below because anything times 0 would just zero out. So now I get to add another 0 here. So now this 6 is going into 30. And so I've got to look for what times 6 will give me 30. And I'm going to come back up here to my 6's. And I've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, bingo, right on the money. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So next, I'm going to come over here, and where this is going to be, actually, there's a decimal right here, so this is really 0 point, and now I'm going to add that 5 in there, and then 5 times 6 will give me 30, and right there I have it, and 30 minus 30 will zero out. What I'd like you to do is copy all this, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, so hopefully you're all done. Now to wrap this up, I'm going to draw my line here, and I'm going to just add up, and I've got zeros and 5. I'm going to carry my 5 right up here, and then I've got to bring up my decimal, so I'll put my decimal right there, and then I've got the 8 and nothing else, right? A bunch of zeros. Put my 8 there, and then right here I got to just bring up my 2, right? And 2 goes right there. So your answer is 28.5. Hey, let's take a look at what this means, okay? So here you are, you're surfing the big wave, and when you do a surf run, as you call it, right, that means you've gone 0.6 miles, right? So 0.6 of a mile, basically, makes your surf run. Last year, you did 17.1 miles altogether, So you want to know how many surf runs you did. And if you divide 17.1 by 0.6, you will get 28.5 or 28.5. So you had 28.5 surf runs last year, and that, my friend, is fantastic. Hey, so this is how you solve the problem with area division, and hopefully you're getting to understand this now. Your next problem you're going to do on your own, and then you'll watch the video to correct your work, and we'll go through it. Don't worry if you make a mistake. The fastest way to learn is to catch your own mistake and fix it. And that's what you'll do by watching the video after you solve the problem. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. And now, on to counting by the numbers. This is a great strategy for anybody who does not have all their multiplication facts memorized. Counting by threes. Ready? Here we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Counting by fours. Ready? And 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Counting by sixes. Here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. Counting by sevens. Here we go. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. And counting by eights. Here we go. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Counting by nines. Here we go. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90.